Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Just in case you don't know me, my name is Puriville. So today we'll be talking about some of the reverse culture shock that I experienced after several years being here in Germany, then having to visit my home for the first time. That is where I come from, Kenya. So I was on holiday for a couple of weeks, and some things were like, where I had already forgotten about them. So I'll be discussing them in a few. Yeah. So first of all, I want to appreciate you all for your support. Thank you guys. So the first thing that I actually experienced was the fact that the crime rate. Okay, here there's minimal crime. Let me say that, because you cannot say that there's no crime. There is crime, but it's not to the point that okay, there are some stations whereby, or some cities when I travel, or where people travel, you have to be careful with your stuff. But let me say, in Germany the crime rate is not as bad as back home. So back home, I will need to watch out on my phone. If I wanted to record, I needed to first survey the surrounding that I'm in, to see if there are people around, to see if I'm free to record. Anytime a phone could get snatched. There are so many pickpockets back at home, so people walking with knives. If you walk at a particular time at night, you could get stabbed because somebody wants to steal from you. So that is something that, being here for some time, I had already forgotten about it. Yeah, it is that long for me to forget. So I had already started to forget about it, and I had to be reminded every time. Hey, if I'm in a matatu traveling to some point, I have to be told, don't put your phone, don't take off your phone when you're inside a matatu, don't sit close to the window, watch out who is sitting behind you. There was a lot of watching, don't do this, nah, 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 nah. That at some point I felt like, I don't think I'll travel with a public transport anytime soon, apart from the aeroplane. So when I was home, I was trying to reduce my movements because I had to be told a lot of watch out. Even if you're in your own private car, you still have to be watchful. Yeah, you have to close the windows, because if you stop and you're making a call, somebody might just pass by and take your phone. So it was so, yeah, bad. But I'm hoping for a time when we'll improve. So another reverse culture shock that I experienced is the fact that here traffic lights work. And you find, if the traffic lights are not working, there are so few of them, and they get repaired after some time, okay? But not, they don't take years to get repaired. That's one thing that you guys should know, okay? So when I went back home, um, I forgot that we have those boda boda drivers. When I talk about boda boda drivers, I'm talking about the people who own bikes, okay? So they do it as a business. Here, they do it as leisure, okay? The people who have bikes here, they are for leisure. Majority, let me say 99%, they are for leisure. You know the kind of bikes that I'm talking about. But home, we have them for business, and we call them the boda boda drivers. Now they are everywhere, everywhere, whether it's in the village, anywhere, any town, anywhere. They are everywhere, and there are so many. So many have ventured into this business back home. So let me tell you, even if we have traffic lights, they're not everywhere. First of all, maybe majority of the traffic lights, you'll find them in major cities, but towns, villages, you'll not be able to find them. Okay, but also even in cities, the traffic lights are there, they are working, but our drivers, whether they are matatu drivers, the boda boda riders, they don't pay attention to the traffic. They will only pay attention if there is a traffic police. Okay, majority of them don't, especially the matatus, the public transport means, especially the noisy ones, they tend to go against the law most of the time. Okay, so but the worst are the boda boda drivers. They don't wait at all. Those ones with motorbikes, they don't wait even for the car, the traffic lights. They can just hit you anyhow if you're not careful enough. And they are so rude. They are so rude even to the people of the matatus. When they are told, wait, I don't know, do this, they are so rude. Yeah, if you go against one, they will come against you, the whole circle, the whole team. So that's one thing that I had forgotten. I had forgotten that traffic lights actually don't work at home or they are not like taken as caution or taken seriously back at home. So that is something I also need to be always watch and watch. I need to check, I need to be, yeah, every time I had to be reminded, kumbuka, remember, when you're in town, be careful with the motorbikes, okay? This is not Germany. That is something else. So another reverse culture shock, it's according to Kenyan cuisine, our most loved ugali. I had actually, because of eating a lot of corn flour from here is actually sweet. So back at home, it's not sweet. It actually does not have any tastes. So I was trying to like, it reached a point that I felt like I'm taking the wrong thing. Because here, before you find the actual corn flour from home, it's so difficult. So, but that one was not so bad, but it was actually a reverse culture shock for me. I don't know for you. Have you experienced a reverse culture shock? Tell me about it. Maybe where you are staying in a foreign country and then maybe you visited. It's not a must that you traveled back to home. Reverse culture only shock for a visit and then maybe you came back was the fact that I had to wash clothes with my own hands. I know you've seen my village videos. It was so difficult for me because I'm just used to the machine and all that. But I had to adjust to it, but it was not so bad. That one was to the minimal of it. But let me tell you guys, my hands got swollen. It was so painful. I know you've seen that video where I've shown my hands were so swollen. I got a lot of back pain. The next one is the fact that I had to adjust to the weather again. Let me tell you, when I traveled from here back home, I carried a lot of warm clothes, jackets for the kids and for us as well. But let me tell you, as we were traveling, the more that we were nearing Africa, the hotter and warmer it became. We came out from here when it was winter, so cold. It was minus, the weather was minus. But can you imagine, actually, when we were first changing our first flight, we could not wear our jackets anymore. And when we reached home, it was so sunny. I don't know what happened to me. I just forgot how hot it could be back home. But let me tell you one thing. In December, normally, back at home, it usually rains in December, okay? And it's a bit cold. So it was so different right now when I went there. And it was so hot. I don't know. I think the weather is changing globally, because that is not so normal to us. During Christmas, it always rains. But this time around, no, it did not happen. That's why I expected it will rain, it will be a bit cold. So I carried warm stuff, but it was the other way around. Is the fact that another in Germany, you find it's not easy for you to meet a mentally challenged person. So to call them in the right way, it's so difficult actually to find them, but they are few. But if you find them, they're still on the streets or maybe in the houses, they're not 100% mad, okay? But now you find back at home, I've forgotten that there are such kind of people, because here most of them maybe are taken in homes for cares and all that. Home, you find a lot of them, a lot. Let me tell you, you will not walk in any village or in any city or town without meeting with maybe two or three. And they can injure you because you know they're not okay. So I forgot that they can be I can actually find them anywhere in the street, and I had to be careful. When I talk about security, also because of them you have to be careful, because one can injure you anytime because they're not in the right senses. So that's another culture shock that I experienced. Actually, when I saw one, I was like, eh? So yes, I'm at home. I need still to be careful. Yeah, because that one was chasing people around. Was chasing, but there's a point in time where they mind their own business, but when they decide to make fun of you, where that one really chased us around. But yeah, so those are some of the reverse culture shock that I experienced once I traveled from here for a visit back home. So have you any of these experiences? What do you think about it? Thank you so much for watching until this point. So until my next episode, bye bye.